Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Where's all my bullshit? Oh, hello. I just got robbed. They took everything. Except my desk, my computer, this camera I stole, and the microphone that came with it. And this, which is the next game we're reviewing, but they took my PS3 and the actual disc is in it, so I love this game, but I can't even play it. So yeah, I'm moving. So reviews are going to be a bit slower after this one till like mid-January. There's going to be some edited gameplay videos because those I can make easily without a fucking full setup. But other than that, reviews going to be on a short break until mid-January. So yeah, enjoy what's probably the last wise review in this room. That is insane to think about. Also, I got this shirt as a Christmas gift. This shirt wear my thumbnails. It's not merch, you can't have it. It's mine. Stay back. So, Sonic kinda needs a comeback. Even as someone who likes Shadow the Hedgehog, the fact that the series has survived these 3 games in a row means that the next game must have been something purely amazing. And in my opinion, oh boy was it.
I see it, and now it's all within my reach. I see it now. It's always been inside of me. And now I feel so free. And there's possibility. And there's possibility. And there's possibility. And there's possibility.
I'm not even gonna try to hide it. This is my favorite Sonic game. I played the hell out of it as a kid. Once upon a time, I was watching TV with my dad and we saw a commercial for a Sonic game. Now, which game was the commercial actually for? I have no idea. But what I do know is that I asked my dad if we could buy it and he said yes. We went down to Micro Center, we asked them for Sonic, and we walked out with some goddamn Sonic. I don't actually remember my first Sonic game. I had the Ultimate Genesis collection as a kid, so it could be Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles. Sonic Spinball for all I fucking know. But this is the first game that I remember, and I mean like really remember, and it was amazing. Originally planned to be another adventure game, even being titled Sonic Road Adventure in Japan, Sonic Team decided to go back to only one playable character. So unlike Sonic 06's multiple underutilized and unfun characters, we have one high quality experience the whole way through. Kinda. The game opens up and immediately reminds you that this game is not fucking around. Sonic smashes through Eggman's fleet, but Eggman manages to get the upper hand, trap him, and drain the Chaos Emeralds of their power. He uses his space dick and balls to shoot the earth and break it apart, causing this giant monster to briefly emerge. The power causes Sonic to go through some kind of fucked up puberty, so Eggman ejects Sonic in his new form down to Earth. He lands on this thing, later nicknamed Chip, who doesn't remember who he is. So Sonic, being the cool dude that he is, decides that the monster's form he's in and the planet being split apart is too easy of a task, so he decides to also take on the task of helping Chip find his memory. They briefly search Greece to no avail, but they do discover that Sonic turns into the monster whenever night falls, the new form being the Werehog. The Werehog has stretchy arms similar to the monsters you run into at night, and they also notice that people in the village act differently at night. Earlier, this ice cream shop dude was super happy and in a bright positive mood that really made your day, and now he's depressed and nothing can bring him out of this state. Oh well, I guess we gotta leave him because, oh look, it's Tails, my man. Tails tells us that Professor Pickle in Spagonia might know something about the Earth shattering based off of his research, but his knowledge piqued Eggman's interest and he's been kidnapped. They bust him out and he explains that the monster that briefly arose was Dark Gaia, a beast that has shattered the world apart once before millions of years ago, and the world splitting is linked to the Chaos Emerald's power. The emeralds can be recharged, however, at the 7 temples of Gaia. Thus begins their world adventure of finding every temple, each one needing a day and night key to be opened. Meanwhile, Eggman is working on ways to harness Dark Gaia's power by draining all of the smaller minions to him, and using them to fuel his robots. Eventually, the professor gives them a camera. They realize that the flash causes Dark Gaia's minions to be expelled from the parts of people who are acting weird at night. That's right, I said darkness from their hearts. a part of this game's plot, something that you need to do for completion, you have to do it at least once, is expelling the darkness from people's hearts. Sonic the Hedgehog Final Mix, everyone. We finally did it, baby. From here, the main plot kind of takes a back seat, as they do want you to explore and mingle with the locals of the areas you go to. Because Sonic and Chip just go from temple to temple, each one restoring the planet, meeting the locals, eating their food, and expelling the darkness from their hearts. At the 6th temple, however, Chip is pulled into a mural of him, where his memory is just restored. As it turns out, he's like Gaia. He and Dark Gaia spend millions of years resting while gaining power, then Dark Gaia breaks the world apart and Light Gaia rebuilds it. But the reason Dark Gaia can't fully awaken, and Light Gaia couldn't remember that, was because Eggman woke them up millions of years before they were supposed to be awoken and disrupted their rest. So we now know that. And there's only one temple left, and oh boy is it well guarded within fucking Eggman Land. As the last piece is falling into place, Eggman shows up and sends all of them into the core of the earth, where Dark Gaia is back at full power. He bitch slaps Eggman because every other time he's tried to utilize a monster has just gone equally as well. Sonic and Chip are ready to throw down, but Dark Gaia takes his energy out of Sonic, forcing the Werehog out of him. Since Sonic can't do shit right now, Chip calls upon every temple to form the Gaia Colossus to fight Dark Gaia like a man. During their fight, Sonic hits Dark Gaia's weak spots, while Chip lays on the old-fashioned beatdown. Despite that effort, however, Dark Gaia grows more powerful and manages to actually just plunge the whole world into darkness. And that's because Light Gaia doesn't actually stop Dark Gaia from destroying the world, he just puts it back together. That's how it's been for millions of years. But as we've established, this time's a little different. Dark Gaia is destroyed, and before the final piece of the Earth is put back on to seal them into core, Chip sends Sonic back to Earth.
Sonic.
Chip remains within the Earth's core, resting until Dark Gaia awakens again in millions of years. Sonic lands in Greece again and finds that Chip left a bracelet, so Sonic remembers him, to which Sonic is so prideful of it that he never wears it again. This game's story is something I feel like you kind of have to experience yourself to really get the most out of it. Like in retrospect, it's just going from temple to temple, boss fight to boss fight, supersonic credits. But a lot of the charm comes from going to each village and interacting with the people there. Sometimes you see them traveling, or they have little missions for you. You can buy souvenirs to bring to Professor Pickle. You can buy local food to eat it for experience points, or you can give it to Chip and just hear his thoughts. He's quite the picky fucking foodie. I didn't get to do a lot of that in my playthrough, unfortunately. I was kind of trying to rush through it to get this video out quickly before I packed up my PS3, because yes, as you've probably noticed, I'm playing the PS3 version. It's the one I grew up playing, and it's the one that I own. I don't own an Xbox. I'm not buying an Xbox for Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. So, I got to experience this game the way God himself intended. Chunky. Oh my god, so many areas just run terribly. Oddly enough, most of the levels are actually fine. You know, some day stages can chug on certain parts, especially at a bad day stage, but the hubs, especially at night, are just atrocious. The Xbox Series X and S offer this game through backwards compatibility, so if you can't handle these chunks, then that's definitely the way to go. Oh, but it also makes you a little pussy. Oh, you can't handle your Sonic games coming at 10 frames a second and severely unstable? The gameplay is separated by day and night stages. Everywhere you visit has one of each that you have to do to move on. The day stages use the boost mechanic from Sonic Rush. The stages are mostly linear, usually the alternate paths, needing you to either have good memorization of the level and good reflexes to get through flawlessly. I just love the boost. When you fly through a level constantly at top speed that the series hasn't seen before, there's a sense of flow that can be very addicting. Even when an obstacle doesn't kill you or hurt you, just killing your momentum feels the same, and it encourages you to memorize the level so that next time you can just fly right over it. It isn't perfect. Sometimes you're going too fast to react to anything even if you knew it was coming, or the camera isn't facing the right direction. And in the hub worlds where you find the levels, just walking around is a little stiff. Sonic doesn't turn gracefully at all if you have any kind of speed, and it can be very off-putting. Then there's the night stages, which is weird because I thought I was done with the God of War marathon. This is a God of War clone. The levels are longer, have platforming sections, combat QTEs, no sex minigame though, so point to God of War. There aren't as many moves as in God of War, but there's still a decent set and enough different combos that you won't get bored unless you just mash the same combo over and over again. The platforming can be pretty annoying though, because there often aren't drop shadows, and trying to grab things in the air is super awkward because of the depth perception and lack of drop shadows. And I don't really like needing to physically go and pick up XP. That's just, why do I have to do that, especially because you don't have to in day stages? The levels can be a little long, but none ran me much longer than 20 minutes. I don't go back to these as often as day stages as they're not as suitable to just pick up and get going, but whenever I decide to replay the whole game, there's only one level that I really dread replaying every time, and before you ask, yes, it's Skyscraper Scamper. Fuck this level. I get that the Werehog isn't really for everyone. That's the end of that sentence. You either enjoy it or you don't. Me personally, I do really like exploring the nighttime stages and finding medals and collectibles and fighting the enemies. And if you don't, well, that's too fucking bad because you need the medals to progress. Every village, hub area, and stage has a few sun and moon medals. The night stages have more sun medals and the days have more moon. To access every level, you will eventually need 80 moon medals and 120 sun medals. It isn't hard to stay on top of. I only didn't have enough moon medals once, and when I did there was still a whole nother level I could access where I found enough to move on. But I always had a bunch of sun medals because they're just naturally easier to find with the pacing of the night levels. And I still had to go back to basically every hub area and one stage to reach the amount I needed when I reached the final day stage. It's very annoying as not everyone is as thorough as I am, and might get stopped way more often. I do enjoy the boss fights a lot though. The daytime ones are honestly whatever. Boosting to the thing, congratulations. But I really enjoy the night ones. Big Bird, the Dragon Thing, and the Egg Dragoon. I think they're all really fun and have very easy medals to grab. Easily a highlight of the game. The final boss can be a bit of a rough patch though. This part where you have to guide the Gaia Colossus is just a bit harder than it needs to be. It's hard to avoid the beam, it's hard to time the punches on these rocks, and the third Sonic section is really tough to beat in time without being flawless. But the Supersonic stuff just rocks. It plays this orchestral version of Endless Possibility while you disarm Dark Guy's defenses, while Chief keeps fighting the old-fashioned way. Don't know why they opted to do a health bar though, as opposed to just standard ring count. You know, it doesn't deplete, but you do refill it by gaining rings. It's just a weird choice that kind of confuses me. But yeah, the difficulty spike at the end felt a bit unnecessary, especially with fucking Eggman Land. Jesus Christ, this level is filled with bullshit. Like this launcher that asks you to press circle. You are never told to press anything other than square and X when using one of these at any previous point in the game, but this part just tells you, yeah, press circle, like I was supposed to be expecting that. There's this part where enemies constantly spawn with nothing telling you to break this wall to actually move on, so I was just here trying to kill all the enemies and try to find another way out, with that answer just right in front of me, wasting so much time. The enemies can be tanks. If there are 2 gunners, then you just fucked because you'll never not be getting shot at. There are 3 fucking Titan fights, one being a double feature, and after 55 minutes and a shit ton of deaths, I got a B. So, I mean, I could improve a little bit, but it was still pretty good. Well, that was a shorter video than I thought it was going to be, but I am on a bit of a time crunch. I still gotta find the motherfucker that took my copy of Gubble. I love this game. Even with all of its flaws, it is still my favorite Sonic game. Now, to be fair, you remove nostalgia, it does go down to like number 3. Because this game is still just fucking amazing. You can pile drive robots into flowers, or other game lets you do that. The Elder Gods forged this game, and it was nothing but a treat to revisit. And now with it done, we've crossed the major hill for this marathon. We're already through most of the 3D Sonic games, but there's still quite a few, but here's the thing. They're not as long as this one. So we're going to hit the end of this marathon really fucking fast. Also, I'm going to announce this now. The Sonic Frontiers review is going to be a lot more than just a standard Wise review, and as such has kind of been removed from the main marathon, if that makes sense. It's still going to come out after Forces, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be the next Wise review in the main marathon. The sub-marathon is going to be going, and a new marathon is going to start up, so if the video's not done, then I'm not going to rush it out because I want it to be exactly what I'm picturing in my head. And as I've learned when making these videos, is that I'm a fucking dumbass and need to stop trying to make things the way they are in my head, because I always end up regretting it. So yeah, we're still going to be going on track to Forces, and then at some point after Forces, the Frontiers video will come out. My scope for this is so big that I'm hoping that just the pursuit of this scope will satisfy me to the point. I've already started the fucking pre-production of the video, so look forward to that, and please watch it when it comes out. And you'll know when it comes out if you subscribe with notifications on. You see how that's not even in the script. That's how fucking smooth I am with that shit. And speaking of marathons, the new sub-marathon, or I guess just second marathon, because God of War is not a small series next to Sonic, really. So the new secondary marathon that will be happening will be the next Wise review. I'm not gonna say what it is, but I'm gonna give you a hint. It is a Sucker Punch game. And if you know me in real life, don't comment what it is. I know you know what it is. I've told you. It was actually your idea. You know who you are. You put that seed in my head, and it made me want to do this. So, it is a Sucker Punch game. You'll see what it is soon enough in a new fucking setting. It'll happen whenever my PlayStations are unpacked. Until then, I hope you enjoy. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. I've rambled on so fucking much. Goodbye. I went to